Hi, hello, welcome. If you are new, I am Amber. I'm an author and an editor, and I've already filmed an intro for this video, but I didn't realize I was going to be filming this video today. So this is going to be half writing update, half garden update. I will have timestamps linked down below. I think the garden update might be 5 minutes long. I don't know. We'll see. But first, let's talk about the writing stuff. This has been my most productive weekend probably all year. I know we're only in March, but we've had quite a few weekends. I ran a 5K with my mom yesterday morning, and I feel like I've been going nonstop since. Saturday, I went ahead and prepped everything, like cleared out all the stuff in the old greenhouse that we're still using, but we hadn't laid out that weed guard tarp, whatever it's called yet. So I did all that yesterday, kind of, added some more soil of what we had all around, and then today went to Home Depot first thing in the morning, got 3 more bags of soil, like they're 2 cubic feet each, and it filled the entire greenhouse that we have, the bigger one. And then there's a new greenhouse, and we did, like, I potted everything is planted. And then I was like, you know what, we're doing it. This is not the garden update. I'm sorry, I'm getting to it. The writing update. I was like, let's sit down and let's plot out the beats for Cemetery Book. So, Cemetery Book literally started because the opening line came in my head last July. And I was thinking this would be such a cool short story. And then it went into other things and it became a witchy urban fantasy. Because the original, I had no intent of adding witches at all. But in order for this to be a longer story, I needed more fantastical elements. And the witches fit perfectly. If you're brand new here, it is a story about necromancy witches and a young woman who can actually see death. So it's not going to be a story like where, she and Death have this romantic relationship. Death doesn't talk to her. Like, none of that. It's very realistic in the fantasy element, which I feel like I prefer when it comes to urban fantasy. I like the realism. Like, I know this stuff isn't real, or maybe, I don't know. I've never seen a fae. I can't confirm or deny that. But it's also one of those things where I want it to be a realistic, because, like, that's why it's an urban fantasy. That's not why it's high fantasy. It's urban. I need it to feel realistic. So there's no weird romantic relationship with this deity that's existed for millennia. No, that's new. No. So I sat down, 30 minutes, you guys. In 30 minutes, I finished the whole beats. All of them. Yeah, the 30-minute block. That's all I needed. At any point in the last 4 months, I could have just mapped out 30 minutes and done it. That's okay. It's done now. That's what matters. I So I will say this, as somebody who went to school for creative writing and took a lot of writing courses, if you follow Save the Cat, great. It's a very, very strong blueprint. Don't worry if some things happen out of order, or, like, you know, this particular beat lasts longer than this one, but this one's supposed to be 5% of your story and this one's 15. Don't worry about stuff like that. That comes down more to pacing. So if you have a fast-paced story, some of those beats may actually be a lower percentage. If it's a longer one, they're obviously going to be a larger percentage. That's totally fine. Don't worry about that. The biggest thing is to make sure that overall it pretty much goes in order, because that's your structure of storytelling. You don't want the midpoint to happen on page 50 and then the ending happens on page 300. That's bad pacing. That is. But, like, you also don't want the midpoint to happen and then we go into fun and games, and, like, no, just don't do that. No, we need the order needs to be there somewhat. Like, 2 of them can maybe overlap or come slightly before. That's fine. But if you follow that through, don't worry about the percentages, just follow the order, you will have your story. So mine, it is kind of rough, but I have broken into Act 2. And so my first act is roughly 40 pages. So just based on that rough conjecture, this rough draft should be around 200 pages. How many words that is, I don't know. I didn't look at the word count, to be perfectly honest with you. Uh, I think that I okay. I don't think that's quite 20,000 words. So maybe a 90,000 word manuscript, something like that. But I'm just really happy that it's done, and this is not like an in-depth outline either, like I did with the YA version of my mystery, which is going to be revamped into a new adult. The Cemetery book is an adult urban fantasy, so I'm freaking curious. But I am, oh my gosh, oh, it's a beats outline, so it's about 900 words. Next, what I want to do is a chapter by chapter outline. But I think now that I have the beats, I might work on like a couple chapters, see where it's at, and then maybe plan it out. Like, I feel like a mystery for me is easier to do chapter by chapter because I need to make sure something gets revealed each time. Whereas in the urban fantasy, it's more on the narration and how it goes and the pacing and that sort of thing. That's just how my brain works. I'm not saying that's a universal rule by any means. That's just how my brain is. So I am very, very excited that that has happened, and I feel like that's a real update I can give you guys, is that we're looking at about 200 pages total, maybe around 90,000. I might put it in the description if I end up counting, or in the edits afterwards. But let's go ahead and go into the gardening stuff. I actually need to film some more, so you're gonna get a clip from like 5-6 hours ago, and then I'll jump back in to update you on what I did not yet get to film. So I will be back, even though it'll feel like no time at all for you. Okay, so bye. Hi, hello. If you are new here, I am Amber. I am an author and a freelance editor, but today we're going to do gardening stuff. I don't know if this is going to be a whole video on its own, or if I'm going to tack it on to another video. So if this is just a gardening video and you're not interested, no obligation to watch it, but I do want to take you through, because this is the first like full day of gardening I'm doing for the 2026 season. I know most gardeners like start indoors and stuff. I have a tiny house. I can't do that. So we have the big greenhouse, and I'm gonna include photos so you can actually see like a little bit better, but maybe if I don't cover the camera, that would be better. This is gonna be sugar snap, Cherokee wax green beans, and tenderette green beans. I have planted 22 sugar snaps, 9 Cherokee wax, and 16 tenderettes. And then I also have, I know, great camera skills, a little tiny one. We found that one from Goodwill for like 18 bucks. And that one is going to be my habaneros, because I had no luck with them. I planted seeds, I bought them from a nursery, like a local nursery. Nothing, none of that, they all died within like 2 weeks. Seeds never even sprouted. So I have more store-bought seeds. I'm going to plant 3 of them, maybe more, I don't know yet, but it's just going to go in there. And then 3 of the habanero seeds I have saved from habaneros we bought. And we're going to see which ones might take off better. I don't know. I'm just experimenting with 6 because they're peppers. I'm in Texas. I can keep planting these until August and they will produce. So I have more time with that. The green beans, I already know the Cherokee wax grow, because that's one of the only plants I was able to actually harvest last year. And then the sugar snaps, they grew as well, but I planted them way too close together and they kind of choked each other. But I also have 3 garden beds on the side, which you would have seen last year. And so we're gonna go ahead and get the habaneros potted, because if they do live, I will move them, transplant them to the ground very carefully. I know they're finicky. And then I will show you what I'm doing with the other garden beds. Okay, so these top 2, this has 6, this has 3. I changed my mind because of course not all the seeds will be viable. And these bottom ones are 3 each, so 9 in total. The bottom ones, the colored pots, are actually going to be, move my hand. They're actually going to be my homemade dried seeds from the habaneros we bought. These up here are from seed packets. They're both the American Seed brand. The Sugar Snap is also the American Seed brand. Can't even see it, but that's okay. The Cherokee Wax and the Tenderettes are actually Valley Green. We bought them from a Goodwill for like 28 cents a pack, which is cheaper than Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree is either 3 for $1.25 or 2 for $1.25. So that's what we have going on right now. And next, on to the side garden beds. And now I am back with the microphone. I'm sorry if those last clips sounded horrible. Filmed though this morning on the fly. So this is garden bed A, which you can see the 2 potato plants. Everything else, it's about 15 seeds worth of jalapeno. Completely eyeballed them. Garden bed B is going to be our bell peppers in this front side and banana peppers in the back. Bell peppers were store-bought seeds. Banana peppers are ones that I saved from our banana peppers from last season. And this one, I only have stuff in that back half, and that's going to be eggplant. That's the first year we're doing this, so we're going to see if it works. I only planted 4 because they're like pumpkins. They need an insane amount of space, and I just don't really have that. This part's going to be stay clear, and I'm going to see if I can use it for the habanero seeds if they take off. Oh my gosh, and you can tell how hot it is because I am already like super red in my face. I wonder if I'm sunburned. I might be a little bit, but thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to keep you guys updated on the gardening and on Cemetery Buck. I am so excited. I'm so glad I have it outlined. I feel like this is the most progress I've made in like November time, because that was when we were doing National Novel November. That's what it was. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to cool off. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys very, very soon.
Across the room, damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you